Hello and welcome to Shareware episode 30. I'm Jordan and I'm joined by Brett.
I'm Brett.
And Josh.
I'm Josh.
If you have never listened to the show before, each host brings their own topic, and every episode ends with a game club where we all play along.
Is that in that Jordan flair?
Yeah. This week's game club is Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, in which we play through Chapter 4.
Chapter
Timestamp.
4.
Brett knows.
I said Chapter 4.
Chapter 4.
I just need to think for a second.
No, I'm teasing Brett because he didn't have any idea what the episode length was going to be while we were announcing it last week. So I had to lambast him in the edits.
Oh, shit. Well, I got a whole episode to think about it.
Oh
Cool.
my god. Yeah, you
I
better.
think there are 10 chapters, because I was looking at it up.
There are
Okay.
10.
So,
We'll take a break and Brett will get his shit
Doing a
together.
bit,
Sweet.
guys. You gotta tear me
Your
down a
whole
little
life
bit
is a
harder.
bit.
alright.
Yeah.
All I do is tear you down, Brett. I'm at my limit. Okay? my fingers are raw from the tearing.
If you want to skip any of this bullshit in the intro, or to
Or in
skip
the whole
to
show.
timestamps for each of the segments can be found in the show notes.
If you want to just go to the timestamp that is the last second in the duration of the episode, we won't blame you.
That's what I do, because I want to hear your hot outtakes.
That's true.
I've been forgetting to check for this.
I don't do them every week, so you
No,
miss
he
out
doesn't
on
do them
this
every
thing,
week.
What the fuck?
So, Brett, what's your topic?
Oh, right. Red Dead Redemption 2. Big Red 1.
That would be a great subtitle if it had a subtitle.
Yeah.
But no.
If any game was going to steal the Big Red One moniker from Call of Duty, that would be the game to do it.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, what's your topic?
Hey Jordan, my topic is a game called Thumper.
So you're playing as a rabbit, obviously.
You're actually playing as a space beetle, thank you very much.
Okay.
I like the Space Needle.
I'm looking forward to hearing about that.
You control Seattle, and you pilot it into the moon.
That's amazing.
It's like Asura's Wrath, but you're just a city instead of an angry dude.
City instead of an angry dude. That could
How
be-
much of
that
this
could be
game do I
sometime.
actually get to play? How
Two.
much of this game do I actually get to play?
A lot. Actually, you get played by this game more than you play it.
Whoa.
I can't wait to play as Seattle.
Yeah.
Titular character, Seattle.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Jordan? What's your titular topic?
Titular topic this week is
Titillate me with your topic.
Is the NX. Oh, wait. No, it's called the Switch
They
now.
switched it up
You
on
just
you.
switched on us, Jordan.
Oh.
You made me think it was the NX.
You're really flipping the switch of my interest.
You pulled the tablet right out from under us.
I thought this would be interesting, but okay.
Nice try, Jordan. Oh, breaking news.
Here, let me switch on for the podcast.
Fuck it, we're talking about Hearthstone this
Now,
No!
week.
I played a new expansion for Fallout New Vegas.
I did. There's
And
a brand new...
I modded it myself.
There's a brand
It's
new
called-
expansion for Fallout New Vegas. I don't know what you're talking about, guys.
I played Skyrim, The Witcher 4, Hearts of Blood, and this is what happened in it.
This one has another...
10 hours of content. I paid $25.
It's okay. It's not great. It has some problems, but it is okay.
It has many monster battles.
Video games
Also a
are
story.
always 3.5 out of 85 stars.
It
Jesus.
has 17 new textures.
Jordan is really brutal. 3.5 out of 85 stars.
The
That's
endings
really-
were not as good because
that's
it didn't
mediocre.
carry over my progress from the 4th game in the series.
Wait. Talking about the fourth game. What? What?
Tell me about the Switch.
The Switch is Nintendo's newest console,
Mm-hmm.
coming out in March. It's a...
Because Nintendo doesn't know how to time an announcement well. They
oh,
wait until the last possible second.
Yeah.
We're releasing it tomorrow.
This is about as close as anyone has gotten to the Sega, and it's out now bullshit.
Oh, that was so cool.
It's so bad, though.
So bad, but so cool.
Yeah.
There's a method to this marketing madness. In an effort to to show their marketing madness, they
You really like the
showed
term
a-
marketing madness.
yeah, a 3.5 minute trailer.
It's pretty little marketing madness.
What did you guys think of that trailer?
I like the music.
It is actually It's almost convincing me that someone at Nintendo might know how to convince people to buy a thing they've made again.
Right?
For the first time in like 10 years.
It's like they hired the guys who did the We Would Like to Play trailers, and they were like, please do something for us again.
That was the right call, because those were good advertisements, and this is a good advertisement because it actually conveys a lot of things about the system, like use cases for it that I wouldn't have even thought of. And after seeing them, I'm like, ooh, that actually kind of sounds awesome.
Yeah, like the guy on the plane.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Or like the weird hipster people having a party on the rooftop.
And it's like, check this out. I brought my GameCube over.
It's like the ultimate realization of the GameCube handle.
Yeah.
It's the metaphorical GameCube handle.
So if you...
Forgot about the GameCube handle because I didn't have any friends.
If you've been living under
also, there's no reason to carry by the handle because it's tiny and square.
If you're living under a rock and you have no idea what the Switch is...
Or if you're being hit by the Google DNS strike.
Yeah.
It's happening right now.
Yeah. If you're like, what the fuck are they talking about?
And you haven't been able to guess it for like 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
This is what everyone said it was going to be.
It's a console handheld hybrid. It's
a tablet with some Wiimotes that glued onto the sides.
Yeah, and you can
looks
take
really slick.
Yeah, you can
like
take
sound,
off the Wii remotes, I guess. They're called like Joy-Cons, I think. And
that really sounds like some kind
I'm not even kidding.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
and,
okay, baby, maybe you want to come over, try out my new Joy-Con?
Yeah, you can't win them all with Nintendo.
No.
There's always got to be one blunder. The Joy-Con!
And you'll, basically with this console, it's like the full realization of the Wii U, being able to take this thing completely on the go with you. Mm-hmm. It's basically a tablet now. But it's got a real controller. It doesn't, you don't have to use the like, it looks like from the trailer, because we didn't get a lot of information, because they're pretty hush-hush about this right now. I don't even know if they know what they're doing at this point.
They don't actually have a console, that's all just a mock-up.
Yeah. They were like, we'll
start building this in March 2017.
Here's Skyrim on the console. Oh great, is Skyrim confirmed? No.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, we should get into the licensing stuff, because that is...
Wait, are they not going to have Skyrim?
So...
Bethesda won't confirm that Skyrim is coming, even though twice in the trailer it is shown being played on the system.
Heavily. Like, it's the second game that's shown in the trailer.
Yeah, one of the only third-party games they showed in the trailer.
Yeah, they showed, like, what looked like NBA 2K17. Mm-hmm. And Skyrim.
No, I'm being kind of facetious, but I feel sorry for the kid out there who's like listening to all his friends have a great time playing Skyrim, but he only had a Wii U, and now he's like, now's my chance. I can play this 5-year-old game?
Yeah, and this is the thing that happened with the Wii U as well, like the Mass Effect 3 re-release and Batman Arkham City re-release.
But what I think is what I believe they're going to do is release the special edition if they release
without
Skyrim
the mod support. Because Nintendo will never go for that.
No. But what I got from this trailer is that it felt like it was obviously like a not proof of concept. What's the name for it? Where
Carpe Diem.
Yes, it's a Seize the Day trailer. But no, it's a trailer showing off like what they want to do, what it seems like their plan is for third parties. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say proof of concept.
Okay, I guess proof of concept for like third parties. So, I mean, Bethesda has never been on a Nintendo console before, and if they can get sports games and Bethesda games and like. If you look, they released a giant list of like, here's all the companies that are on board with the NX or with the Switch. That's gonna be hard.
Can't wait to play Dark Souls Babies Edition on the Nintendo, the bitch.
That will be the nickname if it goes poorly.
I
think that's the most interesting part of the news overall, and not even just. Accounting for the fact that a lot of this we had strong suspicions about it being true. even if all this was brand new, the most notable element is that they have that massive third-party lineup of deals set.
And we'll see how it goes. We have no idea if, this thing sells poorly and then all of them jump ship like what happened with the Wii U.
Yeah.
But it's at least Skyrim, if it is coming, and NBA are two really good games to have on the platform.
Mm-hmm. And the reason I think it's more notable than, like I said, they did this with the Wii U, of having, 2 or 3 year old games with the Game of the Year content bundled in coming out on their system. With this, it's giving you a new option to play that isn't available to anybody with the older systems, which is playing it on the bus or whatever. That's never been... There is no convenient way to date to play Skyrim in a mobile setting.
The first thing one of my friends told me when I texted them this, and he had seen the trailer, is he was like, well, I can play Skyrim on my laptop, but I'm like, but that's not convenient in any sort of way. You can't bring that on the bus with you. You can't bring that on an airplane with. Well, you can bring it on an airplane.
You're either going to play with a trackpad, or you have to have a full row of seats so you can set your mouse up on the side, and then it's the bus hit a pothole and now my mouse flew down the aisle.
Or if I'm bringing a controller with me, I have to
that would be
pack
fine,
that with me. It's fine, but
that also starts draining your laptop battery, which that's the other issue is what is the battery life on this thing when it's undocked? Because that is hugely determined.
I mean, if it's 3 hours, that's not that bad to me. But
if it's like the 3DS XL and it can last about 5 hours, I would say that would be
3 to 5 hours.
I feel like you
is
need
a
at
sweet
least
spot.
5 hours for this. This needs to be something you can play on a road trip and charge at pit stops. If you're not even able to play this for a feasible day drive session, then it fails as a portable system, I think.
But speaking of portable systems, what excites me more as well is Nintendo has especially in the Wii U generation, had not had great support of both the 3DS and the Wii U in terms of you either get a first-party game on one or the other, and it's not really at the same time.
Development studios.
Yeah. So if this is my dream is that they kill the 3DS line, and as much as that breaks my heart because I like the DS line, I think it's necessary.
Yeah, for sure.
But if they're able to say okay, now here's where Pokemon's going to go, here's where Smash Bros is going to go, here's where every single Nintendo game, you just buy one Nintendo console, and that is the Nintendo console. It is no longer you need to buy both to get
that would be weird,
both experiences.
Because they just got the new 3DS out there, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not just, though.
It came out 2 or 3 years ago.
It's been almost 2 years, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought it was a year.
If only we could Google this to figure this out.
It came out when Smash came out.
Yeah.
It was over a year.
It came out with Majora's Mask.
Oh, shit.
And regardless, that is, the lamest stopgap they've ever done.
Yeah, I mean, it was super lame. I thought it was more recent.
Yeah, and even still, they did the Game Boy Advance Micro, and then the DS came out that year.
Yeah,
they have no qualms about kicking their last iterations out the door when they've got something brand new coming.
And I mean, there's still a giant library of DS and 3DS games, so it's not like if you just bought a new 3DS that you're shit out of luck. There are hundreds of games on the DS that are awesome that you can play.
I'm sure plenty of downloadable stuff still drips into the market over the next couple of years, but I would be surprised if first-party Nintendo games come to the 3DS in 2018.
I would be too. Do you think that touchscreen? Do you think the Switch's screen is a touchscreen?
I don't think they could do that because it compromises the home console version of the experience. they specifically demonstrate it being played with just the side controller things being clamped onto like a controller chassis, and the console and screen unit is docked on the other end of the room. So if you're doing that, then like ostensibly a big portion of the games are meant to be played that way, and I don't think they're going to split like the design of the games in that way, where some of them are going to be touchscreen based. So you have to play with the gamepad.
Like the entire 3DS library is just kind of ported to the Switch, and they're like, now you can switch from this inferior system, play it on the Switch.
Yeah, how do you do that though with the two screens?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking the bottom screen would be a touchscreen if they do decide to go that route.
But it looks like from the trailer that as soon as you take it out of the dock, that it switches over to handheld mode.
Yeah, well then it just explodes.
Yeah.
Like then it just doesn't know what to do. It bricks itself. It dies.
My thinking is if there was touchscreen functionality, we would have seen it in the trailer.
I think so too.
Yeah, because they showed a lot of different control configurations. We saw like a classic style controller that connected to the dock. We saw the two controllers being separated and used like horizontal really cool. NES style.
Which I'm worried about because I have giant hands.
That's
and
what I was...
couldn't use the Game Boy Micro worth shit.
You know what they say about a guy with big hands? He can't play the Switch very well.
Yeah.
That's what I was excited about because like I am a huge fan of the like last 2 or 3 years resurgence of local multiplayer games, like the mini sports and that kind of thing. And that seems like a great way to have those experiences.
Yeah,
because you have at least 2 players built in just with the core system.
If I could have Overcooked and like take that on the go with me and play it before class with friends, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it just looks really elegant.
That sounds like a great way to make a lot of colleges very angry places.
Yeah.
Like if I was just sitting there trying to study and it was just like, cut the lettuce! Cut the lettuce now! I'd be like, shut the fuck up!
Maybe I should play like Smash Bros. Because that I can play silently.
And then they're just like...
Although I might just...
playing Cooking Mama.
Yeah.
Cut the fucking lettuce!
You're just hearing like furious clacking of controllers as everyone stares in a determined fashion at this tiny screen at the restaurant.
But it seems like a great idea for families as well, which I didn't think... The Wii U on paper sounded like a good idea for families, but it was like, okay, why wouldn't I just buy a 3DS instead?
I mean, it was good for families in that you could have the kid playing the Wii U without taking up the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, or have the family watching the TV while you play a game.
I always was like, if I had a kid, I would buy him a 3DS instead, because I think there's a better library there. And,
if I had a kid, he'd go the fuck outside. Make real friends.
Yeah.
And then I would just sit at home and play video games without having to hear him.
That's overrated. Outside is overrated. But what
I didn't say it'd be good for him.
But
I said it'd be good for me.
I think the idea of having like an iPad that you can have controllers on, and then also a home console is like a really cool idea for parents and families.
Yeah, this is something that I could actually kind of see myself getting in a couple of years. Just because having one system you buy that gives you access to the entire current-gen Nintendo library, I mean, they're literally doubling the value of their system, because since the Game Boy, they've been splitting their first-party titles in half, and they don't have that many to begin with. Granted, they have a lot compared to the first-party titles of Sony and that of Microsoft, but it doesn't come close to the first-party titles combined with the third-party support that those systems have. And Nintendo just hasn't gotten third-party support right in so long that even though it looks like there's the potential for them to get it right this time, like they've got Bethesda and that kind of thing, companies who have never been on board with Nintendo, I still don't want to bank on that. Like, I want the fallback of, well, you have all their portable and console developers making games for this one system.
Wait, so is the Switch going to be compatible with Wii U titles?
No, nothing's confirmed about that.
Oh, I was hoping to play Bayonetta 2 on the go.
That I don't even know if they'll do that, because
if you want to talk about shouting in a fucking public place,
yeah,
that'd be me playing Bayonetta.
It looks like it's cartridge based, and I don't know if they would then have you register your games digitally and download them digitally then?
I would say it's much more likely that they just make a remaster of Bayonetta 2, because they did show a new Splatoon in the trailer and a new version of
Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart. There were a couple games that were Wii U games that looked almost the same, but like slightly better textures and a couple new characters and that kind of thing.
They
so
have
maybe
that
like 1.5 versions.
They have that like Nintendo Selects line on the Wii U, which are like their games for like
feel hungry.
20
Chicken Selects.
Yeah. They're like they're just reprints of the games for $20. And if they did that, like if they said, okay, we're going to do that for a bunch of Wii U games, like the ones that are already out are like Pikmin 3, Bayonetta, Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, like a lot of other games that have been out of print for a long time.
Yeah.
Especially like Bayonetta 2 and Pikmin 3, which were costing you like $80 on like Amazon because they had gone out of print.
Yeah, that would be a good way to get that back into circulation. Especially since a lot of that stuff, like, as far as I understand, I don't have a Wii U, so I'm kind of talking my ass, but like they don't have ubiquitous downloads for all their games, do they?
No.
Yeah, so they're not even caught up in that sense.
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean?
Like every one of their games is not downloadable.
Oh, they are all downloadable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, then I guess then it would just be so people can play on the new system.
Some people like having disc box copies.
Yeah, some people are losers. You're right.
Some people are broken.
Yeah.
There are stupid people. I agree with you, Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
You're not one of them, right?
I will neither confirm nor deny whether or not I'm a.
Are you a member of the Communist Party?
Are you a member of Nintendo?
Are you a Nintendo Club member?
I was for a time. That's how I got one of my shirts. It's a good shirt.
Take him now.
So any other thoughts on the Switch?
No, I think we can move on.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. It is the best a Nintendo launch has looked in a while.
I watched that trailer like 3 times with like a few of my friends, and they were all like, "Wow, I based on this concept, I would buy this."
Yeah. Oh, one last thing. Thank God they just fucking said what the name of it was and had that like click controller thing happen like 10 times. So they don't have the Wii U problem again.
The Wii X.
Is it... Yeah, the Wii Switch would have been like the worst blunder they could have made. Is like, just fucking make it clear that this is a new system. It's not an attachment for your old system that you bought 10 years ago.
I don't like the name, but at least they're sticking with it. Personally, I think
the name is like super... I think it's very descriptive.
I do think the name sounds kind of peripherally still.
Yeah.
A little, but like, I don't know, it conveys everything about, like, the icon and the name together give you exactly the idea of what the fuck is going on.
Okay.
I think I would be more comfortable if they called it the bitch.
I think you'd be more comfortable if you were called the bitch, Brett.
I am.
Alright, well, bitch.
If you want to...
What's your topic?
If you want to... Never mind.
What?
No, do your bit.
I was going to say, you can have in the podcast... You can switch over to the next topic by having the Nintendo Switch sound, but you should probably not do that because Nintendo will go fucking crazy about copyright.
I don't
know. If you like, unless he plays it for 30 seconds consecutively. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Brett dead?
Red Dead Redemption 2. Brett's finally dead. Again. I don't know, like, Rockstar's been talking about this for a little bit. They got a trailer out there.
Trailer says almost nothing.
Exactly.
It looks good.
Yeah, that's like the one takeaway.
Could be a good-looking game.
It looks significantly better than GTA 5, which, like, it's easy to forget, or at least it took me aback at first because I forgot that, like, oh yeah, GTA 5, that was PS3 and Xbox 360 game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, like,
didn't run super well.
The remake looked very good, but it still was based on assets that they designed around the PS3 360 spec level. This is them with like 8 times the RAM and double the processing speed and GPU.
And it's coming to PC, right? Yeah?
No,
Yeah.
no Red Dead game will ever make it to PC.
However, no, you can play Red Dead on PC right now.
No.
You want to know how? Use PlayStation Now, bitch!
Yeah.
Is PlayStation Now out?
It's on PC,
PlayStation
yeah.
Now has been out for like 2 years, dude.
You can use it on PC. You can play Red Dead on PC using PlayStation Now and a subscription that costs $20 a month.
I think I'm starting to show my ignorance about gaming.
Just now. For the first time. Yeah, it looks really fucking good. So they've got that going for them.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my topic.
I'm not one of those guys who like speculates on like a bunch of shit.
That's not even a little
That
true, Jordan.
is
You
definitely
literally
incorrect.
just lied.
Wait a minute.
I'm not one of those guys that speculates things. I don't have like a video game podcast where like every week we talk
No,
about like, what might
I'm
happen.
not like the guy who
I don't like indie games except
No.
for Gone Home or
I don't like going into like okay, let's do 30 fucking
Trigger flops.
30 fucking videos on, hey, did you see this hidden thing in the trailer? Or let's analyze the
Okay,
image and
yeah.
zoom in on everything.
Yes.
There's gonna be animals in this game, and that's the end of a 30-minute video.
Basically.
It's gonna be a video game.
You're gonna be able to use the control stick to move your character around.
The left stick moves, right stick aims.
You're gonna
Whoa.
have shooty bang bang guns.
Yeah.
That sounds like the sequel to Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Except this time it's set in like Harlem.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, you just kill people.
So
Yeah.
you don't like to hypothesize, but
But you're gonna hypothesize.
I hope to God that this is a like.
This is a Christian podcast.
Yes, I hope that this is a Magnificent Seven, because there are 7 people in the first image that they showed, or like third image, I guess. I hope this is either a Magnificent Seven or like 7 Samurai type storyline, because
This is gonna be
that
Jack
concept.
Marston saying "work you damn nag" for about 60
Oh
hours.
God, no.
for those of us that haven't seen that, can you give us the blueprint?
It's
What does that
usually a town is under distress,
Sounds like
and
Western.
then they get help from like a sheriff or a guy in charge, and then he gathers up like a posse of people, and then
that happened in the second act of Red Dead Redemption.
and then they go and they save the town, and then they're gonna get attacked again, and then
they all die.
and then they defend the town from like waves of like 100 people, and that's
So it's
Then
horde
Horde
mode.
mode happens.
that's 7 Samurai and Magnificent Seven. They're
Cliffy
really
B
good.
watched the Magnificent Seven. He's like, I could make so much money off of this. Gears of War 2. Magnificent Seven.
You should watch Magnificent Seven. Actually, go watch 7 Samurai. It's better
Okay.
because it came out first. Basically invented like
7.
we gotta
Number.
defend a town.
But- Before the
They
genres.
invented defending towns.
Basically,
Okay.
it's a famous movie.
I'm aware of that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there are elements of that in the first one, and I'm sure they will continue to do that. The Red Dead Redemption was basically like a compilation of every spaghetti western trope
Which
in
kind
the
of makes you
genre.
wonder where they're gonna go for 2.
Yeah, well, especially because this is, and people will not let up on this point, but this is not Red Dead something being the third game in the Red Dead series.
Mhm.
This is Red Dead Redemption 2. A lot of people were saying like, oh, Red Dead Retribution or Red Dead Revengeance Rising.
I
Oh,
made that
that'd be
amazing
good.
tweet that nobody did anything with, where I said a whole bunch of names, and I was like, "Well,
Well,
that's about my my Twitter in a nutshell." Of cool. Here's this tweet.
all right,
Cricket sound.
we'll retweet it on the ever popular Shareware Pod
Yeah.
Twitter account.
I have like 4 more followers. I don't know why. They're all podcasts.
That charming.
Thanks, other podcasts. We're a podcast.
Yeah, Podcast Unite.
Yeah.
Um,
We're going to do a big episode with 20 people, all in different areas,
That's
Skyping
not-
in.
oh God.
Um,
But yeah, I'm personally I'm a little bit bummed by that because I was looking forward to them having just a completely different story, different characters and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it might have a different story and different different characters.
I'm sure there will be different characters because a lot of the characters in the first game are dead.
Yeah.
No.
But they could just
actually
make it a
forgot.
prequel.
That would be dumb too.
Red
That's-
Dead Redemption.
that's-
Zero Redemption.
That's kind of what I'm worried is like they've got the big posse riding away from the sunset in the trailer or that teaser poster, like the thing they put up on like their Twitter account and stuff and all their social media. And my worry is that this is just like, what if we told the story of John Marston's days and his gang? And it's like, that doesn't sound interesting because we already have all the resolution of that, and this would just be like a bunch of throwaway pop cowboy action scenes. Like, we don't really need that.
I mean, I think that
I wouldn't be.
I think that would be interesting.
It would
personally.
be fun, but it wouldn't be interesting. There's nothing interesting about like, hey, what did Marston do with all these gangsters that we alluded to already over the course of 20 hours in this other game that
Also, if
had
they
a
want to
much
bring the
more-
morality system back, like, Marston knew he was a fucking asshole at that time. Like,
how do you do the redemption? Like, how do
be
you
like
execute?
Red Dead? You're kind of an asshole.
Yeah, how do
Two.
you execute on that theme when we already know
Yeah.
that Marston was just a criminal and a cheat?
The
and a
end
liar.
of the game is him going, "I'm a fucking asshole."
I should
and
get
then,
on a train.
and then quitting the gang.
The end of the game is just him stepping onto a train next to some chatty Christian women.
I've left a trail full of
Tears.
dead red people, and now I need to see.
Forgot
my
how that
redemption.
game opened. Now I remember.
I want to replay that game actually because it's been so long.
Yeah, I specifically want to go back and play some of the multiplayer. I know the servers are probably really
Multiplayer
dead,
is
but
so fucking good.
yeah, that's the thing.
Couldn't you play cards with people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I adored the multiplayer
Me too.
in Red Dead Redemption.
I played it more than any other, I think, Rockstar multiplayer, because,
Yeah, easily. Well, I mean, there's only been a couple.
I guess.
Then
4,
GTA 4,
5,
GTA 5.
and then Red Dead.
Yeah.
I guess
Midnight
table
Club.
tennis.
Oh, did it?
Midnight Club Los Angeles, y'all.
Okay.
Did that have online multiplayer?
I'm sure it did.
I don't know. I would guess. It's a racing game that came out in the 360 life cycle.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
That was before. Oh,
Maybe
whatever.
maybe one of those sequels was on the 360. I don't know. I don't pay attention
No,
to racing
Los
games,
Angeles
much
was
less
on
Midnight Club.
360.
But yeah, I was so not happy with how GTA 5 multiplayer turned out, and they put so
me
much
too.
more effort and money into it.
They still
So-
are.
And I honestly, for the life of me, can't think back and put my finger on what it was that Red Dead multiplayer did that GTA 5 didn't.
You couldn't buy Buffalo cards to get more in-game money.
But
so
I mean,
they had to actually make a good game.
the currency stuff didn't really bother me in GTA 5. I just wasn't having fun doing anything.
Yeah. There's it feels like there's not a lot of structure in GTA 5's multiplayer. But that's not even true because it's there's no structure in the Red Dead multiplayer either.
Yeah, there was more of an emphasis on free roam in the Red Dead one because it was just the open
I forget,
West.
did you hunt and shit like
You
that?
can
You
hunt,
can.
yeah, and it's
We just went around, me and
just
my
get
friends.
into gunfights
Yeah.
with strangers.
And I mean, you do the same thing in GTA 5, but it's just not as exciting.
maybe the
I guess
reason
in GTA 5 it feels like it's against the theme, I guess, but in Red Dead it's I'm posseing up, gonna go fuck some dudes up.
yeah, it does. It's definitely more thematically cohesive because you don't
Maybe
just
it's
make
because-
gangs on the fly in real life.
Maybe it's because semi-automatics are more fun to fire and lever actions are more fun to fire
Yeah,
than
that's what I
modern
was going to
guns.
say. The damage model and operation of the weapons in Red Dead makes for more interesting gunfights in a PvP sense than
Every
GTA
shot
5.
matters.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely more methodical, and it's horseback riding. It's kind of difficult to get your shots off and that kind of thing. There's a lot of elements that make it challenging. Whereas in GTA 5, it has almost a Call of Duty sort of feel because you die really quickly in GTA 5.
Yeah, and it was
if you're
fun.
getting spawn camped, that's no fun.
I think it was fun, unlocking and ranking up things
Getting those mounts.
in Red Dead
The
more
albino
so
buffalo.
more so than in
You could ride
GTA
a
5
buffalo?
because GTA 5
Yeah, dude. You could ride a bison.
Yeah.
An albino bison. It was
You could
awesome.
ride
Could you shoot it in the head as you went into town and
Of course.
go
Mhm.
flying?
Yeah.
'Cause that was my favorite thing to do in that fucking game. Was just ride into town, And then I just go flying into the fucking street.
Yeah.
And then some guy's like, "Hey, Lily Liver, I challenge you." And I'm just like picking myself up. I'm just like, alright.
That's fine. No worries.
Let's go. I'll shoot you in the head. That's fine.
I just...
For now.
For me, I hope that this, I hope that the game, it focuses not so much as on the multiplayer. I think GTA Online was fun, but I think they got kind of out of hand. And now it's like, look at all this GTA Online stuff. And I'm like, man, the single player DLC for GTA 4 and the Undead Nightmare stuff for Red Dead were so interesting and different.
I do want... That would be a nice change of pace if they were to put their post-game release focus on single player again, because those have always been much more interesting to me than, like, car packs and stuff.
I guess that's where they were going for with heists.
Yeah, but it didn't... Man, I didn't even get to play a multiplayer heist.
I played
it took
the
over
heists.
a year for them to put heists in that game.
The heists
Online.
are, like, not even that fun if you don't have people with you. Like, and because they all came out a year later...
Yeah.
I wasn't able to play with my friends. Like, I would go...
Who's still playing GTA 5 online?
Say, hey, would you like to play on the
Except for
PS4? And they'd
hackers.
be like, well, I have the 360 edition. Do you want to play that? I'm like, I don't have Live anymore, so I can't play that online.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't mind them, like, during, like, the pre-game release development time, focusing on multiplayer. They just need to go back to Redemption's multiplayer and look at what they did right and what they did differently, because 5 just did not do it for me. I don't know. I had a really disappointing experience with it, because I was really looking forward to it going into GTA 5. As somebody that doesn't even... Like, that was the first Grand Theft Auto game that I bought with my own money. Like, I played a couple of PS2 ones at friends' houses and stuff, but, like, I don't really like GTA games. But I loved the Red Dead multiplayer so much that I basically bought GTA 5 for its multiplayer, because I imagined it was going to be a continuation of that format. And they really tampered with a lot of shit.
Like, I didn't really like GTA 5 online.
I didn't like GTA 5 really.
I liked it enough
beat
when I
it.
had friends with me, but...
I felt like so burnt out on that game, and then I found out I was like only 2/3 of the way through the campaign, and I'm like, I'm done.
I love the campaign in GTA 5. I think it's designed really well, and I like it a lot. Like, I mean...
Red Dead just has such more, like, captivating
more
characters.
Personality.
Yeah.
They had better moments, too. Like, when you're going into Mexico for the first time and start playing that song.
Yeah. And even in, like, in the DLC as well, like, hunting down the Sasquatches, and you get to the last one, and there's, like, that drizzle of snowfall, and it's just, like, somber music coming in.
Well, the problem with GTA 5 is, and the problem with GTA in general is, nobody is really likable unless you're a 13-year-old kid.
All those characters suck.
Yeah, and you're like, especially with GTA 5, like, they have so many, like, everybody is just the worst person in GTA 5. At least in 4, you have a few that you're like, alright, like, this guy is kind of cool. And
I like Lamar. Lamar is, like, the only character I like.
Lamar's cool because he's like the only character who is comfortable in himself, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. And Red Dead Redemption still had those, like, trash bag characters that are, like, totally just, like, stereotypes. Like, there's literally a guy that's just, his name is Irish, and he's a drunkard.
Yeah.
But they still have, like, a nugget of, like, lovable personality deep down. Like, they're likable people beneath all their bullshit.
And
that's just not there in GTA.
The main character in Red Dead, John Marston, has a conscience, and as a person, I was like, I don't want to go around and kill people as John Marston, because, like, he'll go into a saloon, and go upstairs to, like, the whores, and they'll be like, hey, and he'll be like, evening, ma'am, or whatever, and I'm like, that's okay, that's cool.
And he's got relatable motivations. Like, he's done shit in his past he regrets, and he wants to turn things around.
Yeah.
Like, everybody has had moments like that in their life. Whereas in GTA 5, it's like, oh, this is a redneck that just likes to kill people because it's fun, and there's a dude that's washed up because he's so good at robbing banks and has so much money that he's bored and wants to go rob more banks.
And then there's a guy who gets everything he wants in the first, fourth of the game, and then just sits at his house and goes, I'm done.
Yeah, Franklin was the one relatable character, and then they just fucking solve all of his problems and make him boring, too.
Yeah, and then he just sits at home alone and sad.
Which I guess that part's relatable, but that doesn't make for an interesting story.
That's my autobiography.
I
do that every
focus
day.
so much on Michael and Trevor who are kind of interesting to me. I know they're not to you, but then Franklin, the most interesting one to me, is just sidelined throughout most of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they were interesting because I was like, okay, what is the arc for these characters? Where do
and
they
then
go?
they don't
and
go
they don't
anywhere.
Go anywhere. I don't know how the game ends, and maybe they stuck the landing, but it took so long to get there.
It ends with choose which one you want to kill.
You said that, but that doesn't tell me anything about the actual characters.
Because there's nowhere to go. They end up in the same place.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. I hope Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't like that.
You know what else is disappointing?
What?
I tried for a segue really hard.
PlayStation VR. How is Thumper?
You can't just say, you know what else, blank. That's not how segues work.
Well,
I
didn't think that through
That was
very
the
much.
segue equivalent of when you point at something and your cat looks at your finger instead of the thing you're pointing at.
Thumper?
I guess I'm talking about Thumper
Are you
now.
disappointed about Thumper?
Not even remotely. It's
So,
an excellent game.
I understand you're playing on PlayStation
Speaking
VR.
of disappointments, that segue.
You're playing on PlayStation VR, right?
No, your joke is even better the fourth time, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep repeating it so that all of you.
From now on, I'm
maybe
going to
you
start
should.
hitting the record button the moment everyone gets in, so that we can't make the same joke.
That's a bad
or
idea.
Jordan could just not make the same joke.
I just want you to acknowledge me, senpai.
Okay, PlayStation VR doesn't look interesting because VR doesn't look interesting. Acknowledge.
Okay, we're done. How's Thumper?
Thumper is excellent.
What is Thumper?
So Thumper is what they describe, the developers, as a rhythm violence game, which I think is an excellent descriptor for what you're doing in this game. You're a Quicksilver space beetle that's flying down an interstellar highway in what basically is comprised of Tool and Journey album art rendered in the Tron universe. It is a very bizarre aesthetic. Think neon and psychedelia and black leather and electronica.
Is it like the time I took acid and stared at a skull for 3 hours and it was Technicolor?
It probably. Yeah,
there's a lot of Technicolor.
The main
in this
antagonist is a flaming skull monster called Crackhead.
He looks like a spider demon skull monster.
This game has one of the most engrossing and distinctive aesthetics since the first Hotline Miami.
I would also describe that game as rhythm violence in a way.
Kind of, yeah, and there's definitely some parallels to draw between this and Hotline Miami, which I'm sure explains a lot of why I like it so much, because Hotline Miami is one of my favorite games.
Just like Hotline Miami 2.
Oh, why you gotta go there, man? Why you gotta pull that?
I like hurting other people.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
So the comparison I would draw between Hotline Miami and Thumper is that flow state you achieve, which is always a really fun place to get in games. This is one of those games where you can't be consciously playing it. You have to lapse into that state where you just become one with the mechanics, and your mind is just subconsciously interpreting the audiovisual stimuli and translating that into button presses from your hands.
That's the best sign of a good rhythm game, is when you just zone out and are hitting the notes over and over and over again.
Yeah. So mechanically, it is very much like Rhythm Heaven. So you're getting cues one measure ahead of where your inputs need to be. So your beetle is flying down this note highway, much in the way of a rock band or something like that. And you'll hear a little thump, in the distance, and then one measure through the song ahead, then you have to press X to pound on the beat. Or you'll hear like a snare hit, and then in a measure you have to hold the D-pad or analog stick to the left while holding X to like basically drift sideways along the path. So you've got thumps on X, drifts on left and right and X. There are gates that you have to like slam through by holding X on a beat and then continuing to hold it through the gates. Or sometimes you have to fly over low obstacles by pressing up while you're thumping, and then you get a short duration of flight.
A lot of thumping in this game.
A lot of thumping, and that continues through the soundtrack as well because it is a very percussive soundtrack. It's borderline ambient, there's not a whole lot of melody to it. It's basically just like hints of like industrial and kind of like suspense thriller soundtracks. Like it almost gives a vibe of you are like a serial killer that's like hunting their prey. There's
you're
a very
a beetle.
Yeah. I don't
Fighting a
understand.
giant skull.
Beetle killer?
There's no conflict between those two subjects.
I've never heard of a beetle serial killer.
Well, you haven't been paying attention to the news, Brett.
Oh man, it's all these killer clown beetles coming out.
Yep. But yeah, so basically you're just rolling through these tracks and beating the shit out of all of these different musical cues with just intensely, just visually and audioly just impactful moments of just smashing the shit out of things. And it is one of the most exhilarating games I've played in a long time. It might actually be the most like heart-pounding game I've played since Hotline Miami. The combination of the crazy visuals and sound and just like the general oppressive tone of everything, you get wrapped up in it really easily.
Is it too intense sometimes? Because that was one of my... I know we're making a lot of comparisons between Hotline Miami and this, but that was one of my complaints is I was like not ready for Hotline Miami. I guess I was not in the right mood. Because I was like, fuck, this game is tearing my life apart. And how hard it is.
You should not play this game if you're... Like, this game stresses people. This game will stress you out. Don't play this game if you want to relax. Straight up. This game is fun because it taps into, like, your reptilian brain. Like, you are on the prowl when you're playing this game. You're fighting for your life through rhythm action inputs.
Maybe I won't like this game.
You might not like this game.
Kind of reminds me of how I feel whenever I'm playing a Platinum game.
I could see some comparisons for sure. Like I said this game is mechanically similar to Rhythm Heaven. They describe it as Rhythm Hell in the store description, and that is very accurate because
I might need to play this at your house before I actually buy this.
Yeah, feel free to try it out. I love it. I'm super enjoying it. I don't know. It's extremely engrossing. I can't imagine playing this with VR. This is like the one game where I could kind of see myself. I would like to play this on VR at some point, just because even playing it on a normal screen is so enveloping. Like just the speed at which things are coming towards you on the screen, and like how overwhelming.
I feel like
the
I would
audio
get
visuals
really
are.
sick playing this in VR.
I don't really know how you could, because there's not like bodily motion going on. Like you're just a camera.
Okay.
Watching the beetle, like there wouldn't be like a motion sickness element, I don't think, but I don't know. I haven't done it. It doesn't seem like it would be disruptive in the way that like a first person.
It would
game
just be like a giant screen in your face.
Yeah, it would basically just like it doesn't have a mechanical impact playing in VR. It's literally just the game but wrapped around your eyeballs, which sounds cool as hell. Another fun thing for you music geeks is that the levels match the time signature of the song, which is really fucking fun.
So when you go to 3-4,
you're on level 3. Yeah, you're playing in 3-4, and there's 9 levels. So you do the math.
Oh god.
I'm on level 7 right now, and playing in 7-4 is a lot of fun.
That sounds awesome.
How would it go for people who I've already been through Rhythm Hell in Rhythm Heaven? I bring the Rhythm Hell with me wherever I go because I have the rhythm of a dead horse.
It's not an easy game. This game's hard. However, it's not just hard because of the like mechanical requirements. So depending on your ability to stomach just like the kind of overwhelming audiovisual presentation, you might have an edge up. Because I think the combination of what's being thrown in your face and what you have to do is what makes it difficult. Like, you're not just being challenged mechanically, you're being challenged psychologically the whole time.
Well, I'm good at that.
So you might be able to hold your own. Like I said, literally all the controls are just the directions and X. It's a very mechanically simple game, but the way they combine all that and the way they like assault your senses makes it into something more than some of its parts. It's not the kind of thing where, like, a lot of my favorite rhythm games, I will like listen to the soundtrack in my own free time. I don't really think this is that kind of game because, like I said, it does have a very ambient quality to it, and so much of the substance of the soundtrack comes from the game cues of like when you're hitting notes and that kind of thing. Like, it really fills out the palette. So this is really just like the music serves the experience exclusively. These aren't songs that I would like jog to or drive to or anything like that, but they are super fucking awesome.
All right, I think I'll give this a shot.
Yeah, it's $20, and based on how long I've been playing it, I would say like one playthrough for your average person will probably take you like, I don't know, like 8 hours, but then also there's a lot of replay opportunity because getting an S rank on songs is super fucking hard. That's another thing. This is one of those games, I've touched on this a couple times on the podcast, where you can kind of like make it as difficult as you want because there are lots of optional notes in the songs. So like passing a track is maybe like a third of what you could do to get more score out of it. So if you're overwhelmed, you can basically just like hunker down and just take the turns, because the turns and the gates are the only things that will kill you. So you don't have to hit every thump on the cue.
But if you don't, you're kind of a bitch.
Yeah, basically. Like you can give yourself a breather, mechanically speaking, if you're really overwhelmed. So I appreciate that. Like you can fumble your way through a level and get a D, and it's like, okay, I'll come back to that later and try to perfect it. Which I've done that a couple times. Of like, oh, I only got a C on this track, and I'm stuck on track 5. I'll go back to track 2 and try to get some S ranks in different sections. And they've already fixed a couple. I had a couple nitpicks with it of like the menus being slow and that kind of thing, and they've already patched it. So now there's like a quick reset button on the left bumper. So that was like my only problem with the game. Like the only downside I could think of was restarting at checkpoint takes a little bit too long. And that's not the case anymore. So, yeah, it's excellent. I'm really loving it. And anybody that's a fan of rhythm games should try it out for sure.
Or if you like platinum games.
Yeah, if you like being assaulted.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a little bit of here and now after a long week of news overwhelming us. I think that kind of covers everything. So, why don't we take a break and come to the Dark Messiah Game Club.
Dark Messiah.
Go Game Club.
Game Club, yeah.
Yeah.
welcome to Game Club.
Hey, we're back.
Welcome back.
So, Dark Messiah.
Is this a proper start now?
This is a proper start, unlike what this game has.
What do you mean? This game puts you in the shoes of a man who has apparently been training for 18 years and yet knows nothing about anything.
So, isn't he only like 20-something? Like,
Yeah.
he's been trained since he was 4?
I think he's been getting trained from birth.
Was this guy's name Seraph?
Seraph, yes.
Seraph.
I thought it was Gareth.
I thought it was Seraph, so I was
Seraph.
like... So
Seraph Industries.
This is a prologue to Deus Ex?
He loses his arm at the end of this game, and then in Dark Messiah Magic 2, he creates augments.
He travels to the future, and then... Or he makes the future, and then...
Oh, he makes the future.
Yeah,
He's like,
a real
shall
man
make
forges his own
everything
future.
The prologue
yellow.
actually takes place in Detroit.
It's like, I want
That would
everything
explain why it
to be
looks so
yellow, and black, and gold, and orange. And
So,
just-
Brett,
And purple.
why do you like this game?
What? This game's awesome!
I don't think this
Tell-
game is bad.
No, I didn't. you guys are all jumping to all kinds of conclusions.
I know,
I'm,
I
Why are
thought
you
it was
saying my game's
implied.
bad, huh?
I'm
It's
asking,
not your game.
why do you like this game? As the person that picks this
Fucking hilarious.
Okay.
Everything about this game has the comedic timing of someone who has no idea they're being funny. Like,
Agreed.
but it's
Agreed.
masterful in that sense. Like, they have no idea.
Do you think
what
that was
they're making.
deliberate or they
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
I'm
So-
glad you have some semblance of sanity.
What kind of game is this, Brett? Can
It's
you describe
fucking
it?
hilarious.
I'll
It
tell
is
you
so
what this
fun.
game is not, and this game is not an open-world, story-based role-playing game, which is what I thought this was.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
really?
too.
And I got a rude awakening pretty early on. What this game actually, I imagine that this game was something like the Elder Scrolls.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
With like
Oh, man.
more of a combat focus. What this actually is somebody took Oblivion and they were like, writing, exploration, world building, I don't know.
Well,
What
world
about
building? There's books.
what
They got
about-
at least two paragraphs?
what if we just took the combat and mechanics and stealth of Oblivion and made that the whole game?
Yeah! Except you can kick dudes.
Except you
It's
can
fucking
kick dudes.
awesome.
That's literally the one thing that this game has that Oblivion combat doesn't. And you know what has never been praised about Oblivion?
Hey, I like this game. I think it's fun. I think it's good.
The combat's
I-
serviceable.
I definitely had fun with this game.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, why don't you set the stage for us, Brett?
What a-
Imagine in
You're
a world where your master just goes, finally, after all these years, we have the Shantiri crystal.
Why was the Shantiri crystal so hard to get to if it took like 30 seconds? Did they just have to
The
find
Shantiri crystal.
Did they just have to find the dungeon?
What?
And he misplaced the map?
Well, you had to get the spider key.
Oh yeah, that's
Why
right.
was it hard? Yeah, I just don't understand how it was so difficult to get this crystal.
Well, it was difficult because the HDR in this game is cranked up so high that you can't see anything. So
It's more immersive.
this game is actually it fetishizes Half-Life 2 so much that it hurts.
It is very much a Source game.
And not even just like if you didn't notice this was a Source game when you looked at the menus,
You would
Then-
know it in the loading screens. You would-
the cursor and like
I haven't
everything
noticed
about
the cursor, but
the
yeah, you're
cursor's
right.
the
I
same.
noticed the cursor, but like for me, I was like, "What is this? This physics engine is familiar." And then I went online after
Yeah.
I got to the end of the game, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
it's
you got to
a
the end of the
source
game?
game."
Yeah, he's just that
No,
kind of
you
speed
know what I
runner.
mean. I got to the end. I'm like, "It's a source game that explains so much."
It is Source as fuck.
It is probably the most Source Engine game I've ever played, and it's
More
been
so
ported to
than-
Gary's mod.
More so than any Half-Life game.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
And
Like Half-Life tries to kind of avoid a lot of the pitfalls of the Source Engine. Dark
Yeah.
Messiah just kind of
leans
goes,
into
"That's
that.
not my problem."
No, that's not my problem. That's my asset. That's my strength. Is physics and HDR.
What kind of class are you guys playing as?
I'm going Warrior.
Is there an overt class thing, or you just mean like how are you building your character?
At the beginning, it gives you like a class that you can pick.
Did it?
Yeah,
What?
it was like warrior, archer. For oh my god, am I playing the different? I'm playing the 360 edition.
Did they change something in the
Did they
360?
change? I know they changed a bunch in the 360 edition.
Oh.
Like they have additional levels. So it's time for me to be the director's
He's
cut.
the director's cutter.
Yeah.
So do you have
This is the kind of game that would...
Okay.
Do you have a big menu with like, oh, this is your fight mastery, this is your archery mastery?
No.
Wait, you don't have skill points?
No.
What?
No.
What the fuck is this game on
So,
Xbox 360?
What the fuck?
So at the beginning of the game, they tell you, "Hey, bro, you can choose your class. You can be a warrior, you can be a mage, you can be an archer,
That
or
is
you can be an
not a
assassin."
thing.
And I was like,
You're lying.
"Okay, I'm going to be an
Yeah, this is
archer."
not true.
He's actually
Because-
playing Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
No. So I went into the game, and the way that you level up is you just perform actions, but normally, you get EXP for killing dudes and stuff, and finding secret areas, and then you get skill points every time you level.
Okay, yeah, what do you do with your skill points?
You don't do anything. You just get the skill point that you're from your assigned class.
What? It has a linear...
Why would
It
they
has a-
change this?
It is a linear progression
The
system.
Xbox 360 couldn't handle a divergent branching skill tree.
On the PC version, you can be a warrior and then go, I want a magic spell.
That's so weird.
So you can.
So the game sucks more for you.
How does magic work in this? Because I was
I
getting
don't-
scrolls and I was never messing with them.
I don't know if it
Scrolls
does...
are one-time use.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just like Diablo.
So I would get spells.
Mhm.
So I'm an archer,
You probably have fire.
and I
Oh, you
got
picked Archer?
because why would I want anything else? Because the bow is so overpowered in this game.
Yeah, but it's way more fun to chop dudes' heads off and send them
No, it's
flying
not.
into
It's more
boxes.
fun to send them flying by getting a headshot with a bow and arrow and send them flying into a box.
But you don't get to hear the one voice actor they hired doing all the
Yeah, I
voices
do.
of all the guards at once and then
Hey, pal.
I fucking love that guy.
I have a skill right now that allows me to put like a fire trap down.
Okay, so they're giving you some magic.
Yeah, and I have.
That seems
Dark
useful as
vision.
an archer. It's like a claymore mine in
Yeah.
COD as the
It's
sniper
kind of
class.
like the archer. Like I just got lockpicking as well,
Mhm.
and other than that, it's been like all
Wait,
archer skills.
There's lockpicking in this game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Maybe that's only in the 360 version.
I don't
No,
know.
I think I
'cause
saw a thing for it.
I
It's
was
like
able
an
to-
eye and then a key under it.
I've
I'm-
never noticed a thing that was locked and it seemed like I could interact with it if I had something.
So I only got it at the end of
Maybe
the,
it just lets you skip the keys on some
Yeah,
enemies.
I got to the end of the level, the end of the last level that we played, Chapter 4, and that's where I unlocked lockpicking, and I found a door that I didn't have a key to, and I just unlocked it automatically.
So
I was
you're
like,
gonna
oh,
skip part of the game?
Yeah, just make the game.
It was for a secret area.
Oh.
Oh.
I
In
haven't
that
found
case, maybe
any.
lockpicking just gets you special access to the secret areas.
I don't think I found any secret areas.
I found a
Oh,
bunch.
really?
What? Give me an example of one that I might have seen.
So
There's one in chapter
2?
Yeah, it's chapter 2 where there's like a candelabra on one side of a fireplace. You pick up the candelabra, you move it to the other side of the fireplace opens up, and you're like,
I didn't find
that's
that one.
secret?
I've definitely not.
I don't know how I found it the first
The
time, but I know
closest-
I found it legitimately.
The closest I did to any of that was the fucking forge, which is like
The forge is...
the most out of place.
Yeah.
thing in the
That
game.
was weird, right?
Why is that in the game?
Because later on you do it with an actually worthwhile bit of ore,
Yeah.
and you can make a really good sword with it. And I guess that's a tutorial, because if you fuck up one thing, you are done.
So what's
Here, they just give you the materials to make a sword that is worse than another
Yeah.
sword in the room.
So what's
Wait,
weird?
really?
There's
Yeah.
a sword that's like an elven blade that has +3 damage and chance to crit.
Wait.
I didn't see that.
It's just better than the one you
Okay.
craft.
I have a question.
But you can't
I have
use
an
it
answer.
without skilling up.
Is this game does this game have dynamic weapons? I don't know if it's like that.
I
like,
think everything's
no,
preset.
everything's preset.
okay, because I was getting a lot of daggers and finding a lot of bows.
Yeah, I was finding a shitload of daggers and bows.
Yeah, that's
so
I appreciate.
so I picked the right class then for my playthrough.
Well, if
because,
you want to have five different daggers of the exact same quality.
because
well, that's
no,
the thing is
because
they
I got
stack.
like frost daggers and poison daggers.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
the
they don't-
Poison press, I think it's called, is a really good weapon.
If you pick up a there's no weapon degradation in this game.
No.
And if you pick up a weapon that you already have, it just goes in the same slot. Like it doesn't fill
Yeah.
up your inventory,
Yeah.
which is good because that
I feel
This
compelled
game
to
would be
grab every
annoying.
single fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't recognize if it's new or not.
But I feel like this game would benefit from like a Half-Life style of weapon distribution, where like when you find a weapon, it's kind of a big moment.
Yeah.
Instead, they just kind of litter every combat area with the weapons of the enemies you've killed, and it's like, well, this isn't interesting because I already have all these. So why are they dropping them?
I can't use certain weapons because I'm an archer.
That is also not a thing for us.
Yeah, so the only sword I was able to pick up and use was the sword from the forge, and I was like, this sucks ass. So I went back to my daggers.
The sprint charge thing with it is pretty good.
Probably doesn't even
I
have
have
that
poison and I
Yeah.
have frost daggers, which
Weird.
and I can just spam it, and I'm like, oh, I won. Okay, great.
Well,
I would just use the archer, like I was getting so many arrows and so many and getting one-hit kills because they were doubling my damage with headshots every single time I leveled up for a period of time until I got to like the point where I got the fire trap and then lockpicking. So I was getting double damage on headshots. So I was like, I don't need to take like this sword if I'm killing people in one hit with headshots over and over and over again. Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, you're not really missing out on much, at least, because the skill trees in this game are literally just like 5 options stacked into 2 or 3 ranks. They're like pentagons. It's not like an adventure exploring the sprawling customization system.
Because I was having a lot of fun, like, being an archer, and I'm like, I would not want to be like, I don't know what the skills would be for the assassin and the warrior and the mage, but I was like, if I don't want to be drinking mana potions all the time, and I don't want to be
I
like...
think mana has a passive regeneration.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty slow, but you can use like 1 or 2 spells in a fight and have another one ready next fight.
Alright. Because
I still would not recommend playing as a wizard in this game.
I found some armor
that's
that gave
like
me
enough.
regeneration of my health and mana over time.
Wow.
Yep. Did you find the assassin armor?
Oh, the assassin armor, I can wear that.
Oh, I can wear it.
You need like stealth 1 or 2.
Yeah. And since I'm an archer, it was like, here you go.
I haven't found
Wear
any
it.
warrior armor. And I've been like looking around for secrets.
I don't have any armor. I haven't found any armor whatsoever. My
A
chest.
lot of them are in secret areas.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
well,
found like 3 mage robes.
that reinforces my theory that I haven't found any secret areas.
Yeah, fine. Well, whenever you find one, it's like,
Okay.
Yeah.
like it'll make it very, very, very clear.
It says on the bottom secret area for me.
Yeah. Something you might want to do is you might want to. There's in the furthest on the right upgrade area. There's one that reveals secrets to you when you're standing still.
Okay.
So you might want to grab that.
Okay. Well, I looked at it and I was like, that sounds useful, but also I don't want to just be standing still every time I go into a room and looking.
Well, you like it doesn't take very long. So like usually when you walk into a room, you're probably just gonna be like look around anyway, and then you'll see something like flashing blue.
I think the
Alright.
levels in this game are not that difficult to like figure out where the secrets are. I wasn't able to find like the candelabra one, but
Easy game, easy life, Jordan.
no, but like
No, but
This
it's
game-
so
No, but
it's easy.
no,
Guys,
this game,
it's so easy.
this game has had pretty good like level design. Like I was finding all the like relics fairly easily.
Relics.
Yeah.
What
You gotta have relics in your game?
No.
I'm playing a completely different
Yeah.
game, even though I'm playing the same game.
We should try to figure out how much of
So-
this is the same.
Okay.
There's
now
definitely no relics on the PC version. So this is my 3rd playthrough.
They don't do anything, so they were like...
So they're just achievement.
Yeah, they
fodder.
were like, hey guys, collect these relics, and you'll get some sick-ass shit.
Yeah, it literally is just an achievement, because achievements weren't a thing on PC when that game came out.
Oh.
So they must have put those in as an easy way to be like, here, you get 500 achievement points when you get all the relics.
Yeah. Because I was checking the achievements, and they had ones for like collecting 30% and like 60%.
Yeah,
So they
that
must...
explains it.
That sucks, because they totally were like, hey, you get something good for collecting this. And I was like...
Achievement points.
And I was
You
like...
probably will.
It would be
like,
cool if I got like later in
Armor
the
that
game
makes you invincible.
and they were like, "Hey, I'll buy your relics for you," and I'd be like, "Cool."
There would
Xana
have to be
will actually have sex with you in the game.
Ugh.
Xana is such a dumb
Xana
fucking character.
is so dumb.
Like it's just like everything she says is just like, I'm gonna fuck you, or she wants to fuck you, or you want to fuck her. There's
This
nothing
is
else.
the horniest game I've ever played, and Jordan made me play Honey Pop.
This is the. Do we want to go into like the background at all for this story? Because this story is so.
You gotta get the
fucking
crystals.
hilarious.
Get the crystals so you can get the skull on the island, the shadow skull of MacGuffin.
God, it's
You're
such a great
definitely not
story.
going to be betrayed at any point
It's
in
a
time.
You are infested by a succubus, which you don't know she's a succubus until chapter 4, but you totally knew she was a
Yeah.
succubus.
Yeah,
So-
'cause she keeps talking about fucking.
Do you guys have in your game like?
You knew my father? Oh, I've known your father. Are you bragging about boning my
Fucked my
dad?
dad?
Oh,
What's
dude,
wrong with you?
do you my favorite line in the game, which is
Careful with this body. I've got plans
Yeah.
for it.
where she's like, I hope this when you're getting Leanna on the boat, and she's like, I hope that pretty little thing won't become a pretty little pincushion, and you're like, I'll just go lower the pretty little gangplank, and you're like, what the
I
fuck
hope you
is
enjoyed that, because it's the only instance, as far as I remember, of actually entertaining wordplay in this game that's meant to be.
There's
I wrote down in this,
Yeah.
she might even be able to teach you a few other things. And I wrote, fuck
like
you.
more adjectives. There is. I hesitate to call it banter because so often Xanu, the woman that possesses you, is Xana. You're right. She talks to you and you just don't say anything in response.
I like to imagine he's
Or-
just like, what the fuck are you talking
Or it's
about?
silent for most of the time.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't.
No, like, she
yeah.
doesn't say anything for a
Yeah, it's
long
very intermittent.
time.
There's not enough writing to
Like,
follow.
until-
Like, I
there's
imagine she's just
plot.
waiting there, just like, I'm gonna talk about fucking in 5, 4, 3.
She's just desperately looking around for phallic objects she can.
Yeah.
You should stick that up your butt.
She really, really hates Leanna because she's another woman.
Yeah,
she's
it's
the
literally it.
only other woman in the game.
It's the only qualification.
And she also loves you.
Yeah, like, literally, end of chapter 4. She's known you for about 12 hours, and she's like, I feel a lot about you now. You're very important.
You've become very important to me.
And I was
It's
like,
like,
"Go
ow!
away."
I got your boat back and you want to blow me?
I'm associated with your dad dying. I'm probably the reason he's dead.
The
Or your
only-
uncle, whatever.
Yeah, the
Uncle Dad.
Uncle Dad.
Menelag, because
Wait, doesn't
Fuck
Xana
this.
at one point imply that Menelag is trying to fuck Leanna?
No.
Like,
maybe
I swear to
and
God
I
she
blocked
does.
it out. I don't know. I don't
It's like,
remember that.
I remember that coming up when I was doing the stream, and I was like, what the fuck,
It
Xana?
When-
certainly
I went up-
sounds like something she would
I went
do.
up into a tower, and then at one point there's like a bed there, and it was like secret area. I'm like, cool, let me go loot around for stuff. And she's like, ooh, there's a bed here. If only we had time.
Yeah,
But
it's
we
like-
need
You
to
would
move
come out of
on.
my skull?
Yeah, I'm like, you can't fuck me. You're inside my body.
I mean, she theoretically she could just be fucking you the whole time.
I guess.
It's like, Xana, I'm trying to work.
I like. Actually, one of my favorite points in this game was the chapter 1 where you're running away from like the Cyclops. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
It
so
was
the
entertaining
necromancers are. They have an army of goblins and ogres, cyclopses. I don't understand. You think it would be skeletons? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he mentions the necromancers once, and I remember this. 'cause
Well,
he's-
there's also like some ambient world dialogue of like the necromancers are coming. We have to move.
well, like, the thing is, like, this is something that kind of twigged me a little bit, is
It must be bad if it's good.
Sereth is like, what is his fucking name? Fenrig never said anything about necromancers, and it's like, yeah, he did. About 15 minutes ago, he totally did.
Fenrig said things about necromancers, but I wasn't paying attention.
This guy doesn't pay any attention. He's
Like, he
constantly involved with him. He's just thinking of himself. I like how at one point you have to go find Menelag in his tower, where the next scene he dies in, and he's like, "Man, I can't wait to go up into Menelag's tower. I hear there's some great things in there. Not that I'm a thief or anything." I'm like, what fucking asshole thinks like this?
It's like, you can hear them having this tense confrontation. And, like, that whole time, I was having a lot of trouble climbing up. I actually fell down, like, twice. So, like, my Sereth is just like, ah, shit. Oh, fuck. God dude, fuck, shit. And I like to imagine they just heard that as they're having this moment.
Yeah.
And then finally open the window and I'm like, oh, and then you get frozen.
Yeah.
You're
That
just
scene.
the least competent person in the world.
Yeah, and then it's followed by like the most awkward, rushed, poor motion captured, loving scene of her holding her dying uncle.
Oh, I didn't even see
When
that
she
because
could
I was
just
right
ignore
out the fucking door.
I was like, chase after the ghoul. Okay, so I have a thing that happened.
Oh,
Did you get stuck at the beginning of chapter 3? Like
no, they said chase after the ghoul, and because I have no self-control, I went, hang on, I gotta go search for stuff. And I went down because I thought it was like a different area for the, for like when you go out the window and stuff, so I went back and searched around there, and I was like, wait, this is the same area. But by the time I got back to chase after the ghoul, they were like, oh, it escaped, you failed. And I was like, okay, retry.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm not done.
No.
The game crashed.
Oh.
wow,
It
on the
doesn't-
360.
It doesn't save. You have to save manually.
Really?
So
So it
between
autosaves on the
chapters?
PC.
Yeah. It doesn't save.
So you started the whole game over?
I had to... No, thank God I had saved in Chapter 2, but I had to go back through, like, the Spider Temple and stuff
Jesus.
all over again.
That
I was
sucks.
like, are you fucking kidding me? Because I get checkpoints, but it wasn't saving.
Wow.
That
So it's-
fucking sucks.
It's probably a good thing that that happened, because I probably would have just turned the game off once I hit the last checkpoint at Chapter 4. And when I turned it on, like, this week, it would have been like, so would you like to start a new game? And I'd be like, no, I want to go back to my... Fuck! So...
I want to go back to my fuck.
Or always wants to go back to his fuck. Yeah, I got stuck at the beginning of chapter 3 because you slide down that rooftop into like this tiny little enclosure, basically, where the ghoul climbs up.
Before we kind of go into this, how jarring is the change from chapter 2 to 3? Because holy shit, if I remember right, you're literally just jumping, and then it's like chapter 3.
Yeah, the chapter changes are often very abrupt. The only natural one was at the very end of our play session.
Yeah.
Because there was an actual time
Or
lapse.
between the prologue and Chapter 1.
Oh yeah, I forgot that chapter 1 technically starts after the tutorial.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like the
so you're in that little tower and looking up at the ghoul, and then it's like, okay. So I walk back out and to the rooftop, and I'm like, I guess I go this way, and I start walking towards where the window is, and Xana goes, "Don't go that way. It's a dead end."
So...
Like, okay. So I go back in the tower, and I'm like, is there like a rope or a foothold? Or what am I doing? I try to clamber back up the roof. I spent like 5 minutes just like walking around this tiny little, like it's no bigger than like a kitchen.
Yeah.
It's a very small space, but I was like, she just told me not to go that way. So I'm like, of course you're not going that way. You totally go that way.
I think they
What the fuck, Xana?
I think they get around this on the 360 version. Do you guys have a giant ghoul symbol?
Yeah, there's the symbol of the crystal.
Or the crystal
like,
or
whenever
whatever?
it's not in sight, you can look at it.
Oh, during the chase. Yeah, I thought you meant during the whole
Oh, okay. Because they just had that the entire time. And
Throughout the whole game, there's just
No.
a cool icon.
He's way over there.
Cool over here.
Because
You get to the island in chapter 5, and it's just like pointing across the ocean.
So,
I thought that
shit.
was a little bit obnoxious that they were like, that this is the only time of the game when they're like, hey, go over here. Because I got stuck in a few areas in chapter 3 where I was like,
Yeah.
where am I supposed to go?
It's weird because the ghoul is actually not at all hard to follow. Like,
No.
I was going the right way, and then she told me not to go that way. I didn't need the indicator. And then after I just disobeyed her orders and went the right way that I thought I had to go the first time, the ghoul indicator was never useful to me because you can always just see the ghoul. He's not subtle. He like clambers over shit and throws garbage everywhere and knocks down bookshelves.
And people are going like, what the bloody hell was that thing?
Yeah, which
God,
like
the voice acting in this game, by the way.
It's so bit crushed on the 360
so good.
version. It's great.
It's the best game I've ever heard of.
Fuck the ghouls throwing down bookshelves too, because like you can't go over the bookshelf for like 2 or 3 seconds after he knocks it down and like jumping to go over it.
It's just staring.
Yeah, it
Wait
is
for
still
it.
impassable. Wait for the dust to settle.
And go!
Yeah, it's really weird. It's not well paced, and also it's like first person platforming. Not gonna go well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game's awesome.
At least you can see yourself in this, as opposed to Half-Life, where you can't see your body.
Yeah, Half-Life sucks. Dark Messiah, that's the
Watch
shit.
your mouth.
Oh my god. We should probably talk about the combat, since that's like 90% of what you do in this game.
I really like the combat.
We got a letter about the combat, actually.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. Grayson wrote in to sharewarepodcast@gmail.com.
Where you can write in and win a copy of Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut, available on PC right now.
And that's it.
True. And this one is titled Dark Messiah of Might Be Mediocre.
That's actually, that's really bad, but it kind of comes back around.
Yeah, it gets long and obtuse enough to be funny. So good work on that one.
Yeah, well done.
He says, the magic in these games is awesome, but the physical combat leaves a lot to be desired.
Really? Magic's awesome?
The physical combat it leaves a lot to be desired, given that it's mostly mindless hack and slash. How do you feel this compares to games like Half-Life 2 that fully leverages the satisfying nature of the physics-based combat? And I feel like he's kind of talking about like Ravenholm and that kind of thing, where once you've got the gravity gun and there's just garbage laying everywhere and cans and stuff, it's really a sandbox, which I feel like is where this game kind of drew its inspiration for the design doc of its combat. Because everything is like leveraging the physics in some way or another.
No, I don't know. I feel like the physics, whenever it doesn't work, it tends to just make me laugh.
Yeah.
And I give games a whole lot of leniency when their failures make me laugh.
Fair enough.
I've been, again, just getting headshots, or when I do feel like using my daggers,
Daggers suck.
I also just kick people, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I like, I kind of feel what he's talking about in regards to, like, the melee combat is, you're kind of just hitting dudes.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a whole lot of variety to them. The spells aren't necessarily fun, but they all kind of work differently enough to where, like, if you're switching through a variety of them, I feel like they can all be more interesting.
I mean, you unlock more combat options as you upgrade the fight moves. Like, you can disarm people if you hit them in a specific spot. You can... you can jump and do a big attack, which doesn't do too much.
I like that there are, that there are like the undead, where you have to use like a finishing move on them.
Yeah.
Which at least they try to put something interesting in the game combat-wise for them.
You could have just stopped it there. They tried to put something interesting in the game.
Yeah. It's different. Or you can get a headshot on them with one, and then they die in one hit. It's really satisfying.
It sounds like a really fun way to play the game.
Yeah.
Just, dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Headshot.
It is
dead.
really fun. Like, and because it's Source, they go flying.
Okay, now I'm starting to see the fun. Have you ever gotten a headshot that then lands them in a fire and then they burn? Hell yeah.
I also got one that was, of course this game, because it's a lot of melee dudes, will just come up and try to whack on you.
Oh, I've got a good tip for that. Just get up on a box and they'll run away.
Oh, really?
They will just run away as fast as they can.
Well, I'm not taking like any real damage, and I have like a shitload of potions.
Oh, I'm not saying you need to do it. I'm saying it's fucking hilarious.
So
it is art. This game is art.
At one point, I was in like a house, and these guys just all ganged up on me. But like the floorboards.
Stop stepping on me, fucker.
The floorboards were breakable, so...
that part is so fucking great. I had a guy trip. He fucking tripped and fell and died. I did nothing to him.
I somehow broke the floorboards with like a headshot on this one guy as he fell, and it killed all the rest of them. They fell into like the fire, too. So I was like, oh, I just killed like 3 dudes just from one headshot on another guy. How did I do that?
It's fucking awesome.
Because when you get a headshot on them, they go flying. So I guess he went flying into the ground and then broke the floorboards and make the other guys fall.
So I had a really good moment in this game. You know that room with the big chandelier?
Yeah.
I accidentally, I was shooting arrows for the first time because I wanted to give it a shot, and I missed and hit the rope that the chandelier was on. So I was like, ah, shit, it's not working. And then, oh my fucking god!
Yeah.
And like the chandelier
It's so good.
It never stops swinging.
No.
It does after about 3 or 4 minutes.
Oh, really?
And it will break off and then just fall on the floor.
Oh.
But that makes me think, like, they were okay with it just going back and forth like a perfectly balanced pendulum for 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Before they went, oh, shit. This isn't realistic at all.
This should fall at some point, right?
Because it looks
4
like,
minutes sounds good.
It looks so...
It's so perfect.
So awkward.
It never slows.
Yeah,
it
it's
just
really
keeps
weird.
fucking going. It's so good.
It's in a vacuum.
Like,
like-
and then you just lure
magical.
everyone. You just lure everyone in. And you're just like, come and get me,
like,
fucker.
Why
And
yes,
boom.
this
Yeah.
is 2006.
I was actually disappointed at first because, like, and this is a problem I have with a lot of the encounter design is they litter the environment with lots of physics-based like toys to like kind of mix up the combat, but then a lot of times they put them on like the far side of the room. So I'm noticing a lot of opportunities after the combat encounters are over
to actually exploit a lot of their mechanics.
Because
Yeah.
they have like
I feel like I would have to stealth my way through a room and then go loud and aggro everyone to some of these things, which is kind of, I don't know, maybe that's their design intent, but it just doesn't really feel
they have like
cohesive.
bottles of tar and stuff that I
Yeah.
guess you can set people on fire with.
Yeah,
but
you
I
can
haven't.
throw a bottle of oil at them and then
Yeah,
just
light 'em.
light them with a fire spell.
Yeah. But yeah, so I missed the chandelier, and I'm like, wow, well, fuck, that
That
probably would have been cool. And I'm like, well, whatever, I'll slash it and let it fly just so I can see it anyway. And I just watch it for like 3 swings, and then a guy from like some other room that I forgot about runs, and he's like, oh! And then he just gets hit. And I'm like, okay. I like to think that they spawned in an extra guy just so I could get a kill with the chandelier.
Do you guys like the barrels falling on people?
Oh my god, it's so good.
The
You can-
platforms you cut.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, barrels are your best friend in this game because whenever you manage a good hit, they are probably going to go sprawling. Like, just pick one up and just like, I once killed a guy.
Oh, I always forget to pick up a throw thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I once fought a guy, and all I did was throw barrels at him over and over again until eventually he died.
It was a sad way to
These
go.
arrows are like from like the gods or something, because you just can fire them at like at a wooden plank and destroy the wooden plank. You're like,
Explosives.
okay, all right.
Just wait until you start getting the actually crazy bows.
I already have a crazy bow. I have an elven longbow that
Oh, that's not
fires
crazy
2
yet.
shots.
Okay, that's kind of
That's a little crazy.
That's
Yeah.
a little crazy.
The
But
elves
it's
have
not
3
fully
hands.
crazy.
I got a frost bow as well, which is pretty cool.
No, it's not fully crazy.
Okay.
Well, it might be.
It freezes guys. That's pretty fun. Then you can kick them, and then they become unfrozen.
I've kicked people to death in this.
Oh
game.
yeah, me too.
It is.
I like
super good.
when I was on the docks. I was like just getting headshots on like all these people from really far away, and then
I'm starting to detect a certain theme
Yeah.
with your playstyle.
I was like, as soon as they're like, you can be an archer, and I'm like, okay, why would I
I'll
not
just
do
not
that?
have fun from far away.
And I was killing all of them with my bow, and I was like, wait a minute, I forgot I have the kick. What if I kick people into the water?
Yeah, no, they're fucking done. Well, like that's
They got
kind
that
of
armor on.
that's kind of like what I like about this game is that all of us are going, man, this game fucking sucks. But the whole time we've been discussing it, I think we've all had smiles.
Yeah.
Like
It sucks in some amusing ways.
It's like Goat Simulator, where you're like, this game is not good mechanically.
Goat
But-
Simulator is a lot more like,
It is an inadvertent.
oh, I
Goat
know what I'm
Simulator.
doing.
Yeah.
But this game is just like, it's an earnest effort, and it managed to be entertaining, just not how they expected it.
Yeah.
I think the most annoying part for me, before you talk, is when I was trying to get.
Oh,
Don't
wow.
talk.
I
The most
acknowledge.
annoying part until you
Sorry.
talked,
No.
which then broke the record for annoyingness.
No, I mean,
I know what you
I'm
mean.
yeah.
I know you mean.
Okay, but I'm sorry I interrupted you.
That's fine.
That's what I meant. Was trying to get the crystal away from whatever his name is. At
Oh,
the
Aaron
end of-
Tier.
Sure, that's his name.
Hyper
And-
dude
yeah, and
who likes to keep a lot of peasants locked away in cages for some
except there
Oh,
was
you gotta
one
kill
peasant
him.
for me. I could only
Wait,
find
one?
one peasant.
There are a shitload of them
I could only
themselves for
find
us.
one.
reason. Maybe they couldn't fit that many on the
The
360.
Xbox
RAM.
360 is not powerful enough to harness the raw materials of Dark Messiah.
You joke, but it has like 500 megabytes of RAM.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You might actually not be able to have that many peasants in the place.
There was like one, and then the other ones just spawned out of nowhere. I don't know where they came from. Because there was one guy on the left, the one cage on the left.
There's a cage on the far side.
One guy on one guy inside of it. I was like, he was like, help us. I was like, who's us?
I'm
Where
schizophrenic.
is everybody else?
I kind of expected the game to take more of like a moral high ground on you with that one, because I thought that
you just kill those people.
I thought the peasants were gonna like leave and then they would all just get shot and slaughtered, but they kind of just run off, and like you can kind of infer that things didn't go well for them. But I kind of thought that Xana would have been like, really, you're gonna use them to get through? I'm so proud of you.
Oh, okay, you ended with that.
Because she does that another time where she's like, you shouldn't rob people. Birds of a feather, aren't we?
I was like, shut the fuck up. This is my job.
Yeah.
I'm robbing from the people I'm killing. Like, who gives a shit?
When I was trying to sneak to the crystal, I kept on getting caught. Because she's like, go for the crystal. Go for it now. I was like, okay, I better run for it. And then I would die every time because he'd be like, what was that noise? And go and choke me.
Wrong time, wrong target.
I'm like, oh.
I didn't have trouble with getting the crystal. What I had trouble with was figuring out where to go.
Oh, okay.
I didn't, even though this is my third time playing the game, it's been a long time between my playthroughs.
No, I get that.
So I was just kind of like, okay, I have the crystal. And then I just kind of, I was literally just standing there in the light, looking around, like, where,
I think she tells you, like, hey, back up, we gotta go back to the
No, she says go to the sewers.
Oh, okay.
I did not go, I was in the sewers. I was in some fucking cave.
With water.
With water in it. Like, I don't think cave with water is a sewer.
I went through the
You gotta
sewers.
remember, this is medieval times. They didn't have proper sewers.
There was no filtration pumps?
To get to that cave, so I was like, oh, you want me to go all the way back there?
Any waste management technicians down there, so it couldn't have been a sewer.
No high visibility vests.
Caution signs.
What did you want to say, Josh?
Nothing.
Oh, never mind.
Just taking the piss like usual.
Speaking of taking the piss, I went right in that sewer.
Yeah.
And then you run to the end, and there's very clearly no exit to the sewer, and then you wake up, and there's an exit to the sewer.
And it leads conveniently to the boat that got stolen from what is her name?
Leanna.
And that's when she confesses her feelings to you if you get the boat.
Yeah, if you get the boat at the very end, she's like, I need to talk to you.
Can we go somewhere more?
Did you notice that it gives you as an objective marker? Don't make Leanna hate you.
Yeah, I immediately kicked her.
I was like, so is there morality in this game?
I mean, there is fail states.
I'm like, it should be obvious that I shouldn't hurt her to progress through the game.
Yeah.
No, you can hurt her. Just make sure she doesn't hate you.
Yeah.
Just feed into her masochism.
Oh, Sarah, I love you. And I'm just kicking her in the fucking face. The boat segment has probably one of the worst cases of telling the player what to do.
Really?
Where it's like,
oh yeah, don't go down, you'll get hit. Except swimming down is totally the safest way to go.
That's the only thing we can really do. So,
yeah,
unless you can shoot them with an arrow.
I don't think so, because I went out to the boat, and there was one guy, there's one guy, and I hit him with an arrow and killed him, and then I was like, alright, I had time to just walk to the boat. Should be simple enough. And a ballista just comes zooming at me, and I'm like, whoa, fuck! And I got hit and took out...
explosive.
Yeah, took out half my health.
In a game with finite health items, I don't like gotcha shit like this.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a healing spell you get later.
There is.
I got it right away.
I don't get it for a while. I don't think I get it for another 2 or 3 levels, which it's nice that it's even giving it to me, but still.
It's just nice because since there is a passive mana regen, anytime I finish a fight and I have some mana, I just cast it, and by the time I'm at the next fight, I probably have enough mana for a spell.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems like the way to go. I should get that spell. But,
Did you like the goblins that were in there or whatever?
Those things are fucking annoying. I thought that they were... I mean, I get that that's the point, but, like, you think they're going to help you, like the slaves that you free, and then they end up just fucking beating the shit out of you after they kill all the...
They actually...
No, they helped me.
They helped me.
They helped me, and then they started slashing me up.
They actually
I had to aggress them. Maybe you might have hit one with a stray blow.
Maybe I accidentally hit one, because they all were going after me, like, as soon as all the other enemies were dead.
I didn't hit them at first, and then I think I, like, picked up a box or something, and then somehow
picking up a box can have some serious ramifications in this game.
So
you do not want to... Like, my rule of thumb is, if there's something physics-enabled, either stay away or be very mindful. Because otherwise, you will get totally fucked at times, and it'll be like, here lies Sarah, died because he picked up a box.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
He didn't lift with his knees.
He did not. Always lift with your back, not with your knees.
Yeah, so now we're on a little tiny boat, paddling away from our big boat towards the island with the shadow skull.
Yeah. Do you guys ever use your rage ever?
Oh yeah, big time.
I thought it just automatically triggered.
Like, if you use a power attack when it's doing that, you will get one of a few different things. The most useful one is the one where you swing up and then down, so you can kill two guys with that.
I never used it, like, at all.
I don't even know what you
your
mean.
MO.
What do you mean use it? Doesn't it just...
No. For us, you have to
For us.
hit square
For us enlightened.
or X. You have to hit square or X.
I just... My screen turns red and then I hit something and it insta-dies.
No.
That's what it does.
I think you have a slow-mo thing, was it?
I don't know.
I think the adrenaline for bow users just makes it go slow-mo.
I don't know. I have zoom in, so I don't really need slow-mo.
Zoom in is kind of nice.
I had to get to like level 3 in order to get zoom in. I was like, why?
Because
Come on.
sniping's OP.
Yeah. Like, clearly it wasn't much of an impediment to you.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got along with this.
Well, because like people will come right up into your face, and you can just fight. Like, there's no penalty to your aiming, or there's no staggering when you're getting hurt. Like, you don't get, your animation doesn't get paused for cocking an arrow. I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Notching.
Knocking an arrow.
No, is it notching? I think it's knocking.
Maybe it's knocking.
I think
It's not something.
Whatever.
Nah, bruh.
Nah.
You don't get staggered for trying to draw your bow, and so
Probably should.
you should, because it's really overpowered.
Like, it's weird, too, because everything else in the game is so focused on the player's point of view, and, like, when you go to the left, it's
Yeah,
like...
we didn't even touch on the fucking weird swimmy head lean in this game.
I don't know why, but I like it.
I hate the way this
I
game
don't like it
feels
either.
sometimes.
I think you can turn it off.
No,
if
you
it's
can
really
turn
bad.
off
you
head
can.
bob, but
Oh,
you can't
really?
turn off the lean.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a lot of head bob, which I don't really mind head bob, so I left it on. Like I'm the guy who has head bob on when I'm playing Minecraft.
I just bob my head.
I just pick up my monitor and shake it around as I'm walking. But yeah, anytime you back up, your back pedal is like way slower than your walk forward, which makes sense for a melee-focused first-person game as opposed to a shooter. And same with walking sideways, it's slightly slower. But then you also like drunkenly lean 45 degrees. Like there's lean keys on Z and X.
Oh,
You don't
really?
need to press them because you're already doing it anytime you walk sideways.
I don't have lean abilities.
You have to hold the X.
I went to the mountains and the highlands, and I learned how to move to the left and to the right.
The great orientation sage bestowed upon me the knowledge of lean.
Now that you have the Shantiri crystal, you may lean at will.
The lean teary crystal.
I like these
Oh wait, where is the Shantiri crystal now? We're in this
Oh,
tiny
it's just in your
boat.
pocket.
Okay, it was pretty big.
I like these
Yeah, it was pretty big. It's in your pocket.
I like these cutscenes that you're getting, like the one that shows that Santa's a succubus and the other one that has you killing Leanna.
They really like doing trippy dream sequences
Yeah,
in
what
this
the
game.
fuck?
That's like the only medium through which they tell you story in this game.
Yeah, like the one where they just play the original cutscene, but it's like the veneer's taken off. It's just like,
Oh wait, he's an asshole.
yeah, I don't trust you alone.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
don't know, it
this
was
is
cool when I
exactly-
was 12.
it's like this is how I interpreted the cutscene going. There were changes to this?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Is like
It threw me
it
for a
actually
loop.
took me a while, even knowing this was coming, to even notice that they were changing shit.
Yeah.
He's just slightly more of a dick.
Yeah,
Well, he's
very
already
slightly.
mostly a dick, even in the tutorial. I love how you're about, when he first teaches you about the kick, there's a guard in the tutorial area. It's like leaning over a railing or something, and he's like, wow, here, okay, hold on.
Did you quote it?
I have the
Oh.
quote because it was so fucking funny to me. He's like, think, adapt. And then he says, think, adapt, kick him off the ledge. But what I wrote in my notes was, think, adapt, follow my direct orders to the letter.
You
Because
have the
he
most
just tells
powerful
you,
kick because you just kick the fucking.
he just tells you exactly what to do while under the veneer of you like exploring the play space possibilities.
I imagine that when you run into that exact same situation after he opens the gate with the guy standing there and you can kick him, and he's just waiting there, he's like, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it?
I want there to be a dream sequence where it goes back to that tutorial section and the veneer is off and he's like, fucking kick him already.
Kick him real hard. Kick him right in the small of his fucking back, Sarah.
I don't understand. Was he putting a spell on you all this time?
Yeah,
Was
he's
he-
like charming you.
I
Sorcening.
was like, no, he's not. He's just being a dick always. I just
But
never
he's making-
My
understood
trick
this.
is to make me look less of a dick than
Yeah,
I normally am.
I seem mildly rude instead of blatantly evil. Because right off the bat, he's like a super creepy guy with this very
He just
sinister
looks
tone.
awful. And he's like he's in this horrible like dark tower
Yeah.
where you're like,
Full of shady spell stuff. And he
Yeah.
hasn't explained why the Skull of Shadows is something that the good guys ostensibly want.
exactly.
It's like, we need the Skull of Shadows, the Shantiri Crystal, the Black Nectar of Hell.
It's
We're
like,
going to use it to make smoothies for the princess.
it's like you can't go alone. Here, let me summon this girl woman. Sure, okay.
Ally. German.
This
Sounds very
woman is an
feminine.
ally, definitely.
My name's German.
I'm here to fuck you.
Oh my god. Such a...
It's
The
so
worst part
awkward.
is you can tell they thought that this was being like subversive or edgy or like interesting in some way, and it's just not.
It's just like, wow, this weird demon thing really wants to have sex with me.
You guys making this video game sure like titties.
This is like
You'll learn to like the pain.
this is even more in your face with its sexualization than Dead or Alive, which I didn't even know was possible.
It's fucking hilarious. Like, this game, there was one woman in that office, I think. There was one.
And he's
And they were like, does this look right? And she was like, no. And then there were no women in the office.
It's about right.
well, it's exactly how like Menelag treats his women too. He was like,
Get in that boy.
Get in that boy.
no,
I
Menelag.
told you she's fucking.
No, that's Fenrag or whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Menelag.
They all run together.
Fenrag, Menelag,
Menelag.
Takarag,
Taco rag.
When he
That is not a
on the
dog.
rag. That's a one-woman mage.
Yeah.
when you're having your feast, which is apparently just
Anytime.
Yeah, it's just,
the two
I
of
counted
you.
it. I counted the feast. It is 1.5 apples and 2 crackers.
They're very poor for how big a house they have. All their money went to the house. The 10-story fucking spell tower.
I like how there's the servants, and he's like, this doesn't look good to me. Bring it back later.
He's constantly correcting his servants. Like, you should just fire them, because he's constantly like, be careful. Watch the pudding.
Don't spill that.
It's like,
But
okay,
they're all like
either they were
women
going to
servants.
spill it, and it's too late, or they weren't going to spill it, and you saying not to spill it wasn't going to change anything.
They don't even say anything to him. I imagine they're just fed up with bullshit.
This
They're like,
happens
"Yep,
all the time.
okay, sir, I'm getting a paycheck.
I guarantee you none of them have ever spilled the food, and he tells them not to spill it every single time because they're about to pour it.
Well, he got his comeuppance because he's dead now.
Yeah, you got his like throat torn out or something.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, if the necromancers are bad, and clearly everybody's a fucking necromancer in this game, where did the ghouls come in and stuff?
They summon the ghouls.
Yeah, that's something cool.
Sure, okay.
Ghouls are dead.
Ghouls
All
are
right.
like their spies. Also, I like the fact that this badass mage this like king of all sorcery gets killed by one fucking ghoul. Like, spoilers, you fight a lot of ghouls.
Well, wasn't it that, like, the ghoul was holding Liana hostage?
Oh, wait, yeah,
so
there's a ghoul and a necromancer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, yeah, the ghoul got him while the hostage holding thing was going on with the necromancer.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Menelite doesn't seem like a nice man. I feel like he would just be like...
Yeah.
Like, he would be the shoot the hostage school of wizardry.
And there's also that part where you're climbing up the tower and he's like, Xana is like, Meneleg's expendable, but Liana's not. And I was like, what? Why?
No, she says the Shintari crystal is...
No, she says Liana can't die.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't
Which
remember
I guess is like her being prescient about some stuff that happens on the island that we haven't seen yet or something.
I guess.
Maybe because we needed Liana to get the boat.
I think it's because you need like a spellcaster, but even then,
because we need somebody.
I didn't
to flirt
even
with
understand that she was a spellcaster until she started fighting.
No, it says it's her student. She's described as like student.
He's
right?
my master and my uncle.
Guess
my
what
master.
Guess
my
what
uncle.
I did?
And my uncle. It's not weird.
Guess what I did at the entrance to the Meneleg's gate? I walked around and looked for secrets. So she's just like talking and being like,
"We're so pleased to have you."
Go in, and I'm like, "Nah, hang on. I'm gonna go look for some equipment."
Did you find the one where you go up the ladder and then you go open up a window and then you go through that and then
I got like a shield.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I found a shield in there. I got a longbow.
I found a full health potion.
I got a longbow later on. That was cool, and like, because there was like a tavern and there was guards practicing down there. And I was like, "Oh, cool, longbow." It was like a whole bunch more damage than my current bow.
I went into a tower and I opened it up and I had to look around and there was like some meat in there, so I took it and then I walked out and a guard stabbed me.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I was like,
I guess I shouldn't look around.
Like, to be fair, he was going, "Hey, get out of there!" But I thought he was just talking to some peasant because I am well equipped to go wherever I please. Man.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's Dark Messiah.
Yeah, we're on the way to the islands. And
yeah. So, fair warning about Chapter 5. Yeah. It's about a fourth of the game.
Really?
It's super long. You're going to be in Chapter 5 for about 2 hours.
Okay, so does that mean we're probably going to have fewer chapters this week?
Yeah, I'm thinking we do 5, 6, and 7.
All right.
And then 8, 9, and 10.
7. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. And then also, for you listeners, we are doing another multiplayer meetup. Last one was so damn successful, we thought, why not do it again?
I'm disappointed I won't be able to join this one because I feel like this multiplayer is really dumb.
Yeah, we demoed it out because we weren't sure if we'd be able to get it up and running, and it does work.
It's still running?
It's interesting. Well, no, it's because it's peer-to-peer, so
okay.
we just we had to get somebody to host the server. But yeah, so on actually the release day of our next episode, October 29th, right? Yeah, October 29th, Saturday. At 4:30 Central, we'll be doing another multiplayer meetup. So if any of you have the PC version of Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, and maybe you had it when it came out, and you want some nostalgic multiplayer fun, maybe you got it for the game club, and you just want to check it out for the first time.
Maybe you want to get your ass kicked by Brett, who's fucking awesome at this.
Yeah, he's really hard to play against. Your chances of finding a multiplayer match of this game otherwise are pretty slim. Because
even worse than Binary Domain.
The Steam Community Hub is just full of people saying, "Does anyone have a server up?" Which actually, this one I think we're gonna at least have a few people coming because I did post on the multiplayer server Community Hub on Steam.
Oh, nice.
That we're gonna be doing this. So we might be having some Shareware listeners along with some fans of the game on the Community Hub. But yeah, regardless,
I've been waiting 8 years for this. And then I just kicked their asses and they rage quit.
Yep. 4:30 Central, Saturday, October 29th. Keep your eyes on the Facebook page because we will have the server IP info and that kind of thing.
Twitter will also have that.
Yeah, and a code to get into the Shareware Discord server so you can voice chat with the teams if you'd like to do so, or just talk shit while we game.
Yeah. If you want to write into us, you can write in sharewarepodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
If you got anything you want to talk to us about.
Love to hear your thoughts about anything and everything video games.
Literally anything.
If you want to talk about how much fan fiction you've written about Xana and Liana fucking,
oh god,
I'd read it.
If you want to talk about,
only Brett will read that.
If you want to talk
I'll read
about
it aloud to everyone at Extra Life.
our Extra Life. I was just going to segue. Great segue, Brett.
See, there you go. That's a
Holy
segue. I meant to
shit.
do
Made
that.
up for the last one. No, I didn't.
Then you can check us out on.
Speaking of
You can check us out on Shareware Podcast. I think that's what our
Shareware
group is called on Extra Life.
Yeah, our team is Shareware Podcast.
Okay. And you can donate. We're trying to raise money for Gillette Children's Hospital in St. Paul, Minnesota.
I think it's a subset of regions. If you've ever been to regions.
Yes.
If you've been to a region before,
Yeah, if you've been to a region,
an
maybe
area
drop by.
of the world,
Yeah, maybe Middle Eastern.
Yeah, we will be broadcasting our endeavors for Extra Life on November 5th at 11 a.m. Central.
Yep.
And we will have a webcam.
Yeah,
shit.
I spent $40 on a webcam.
you can be scarred by our visages. Please donate. Thanks for listening. This has been Josh.
Brett,
And Jordan.
Bye.
see you in hell.
Is what the show is called. I think you just been like smiling and nodding.
I'm even the one who came up with the name.
Yeah, and then you had some kind of like mental lapse, and it all just.
I'm very busy
evacuated
doing
from your
nothing.
mind. Yeah. School, nothing.
School.
All right.
I actually am like at the point where school is starting to become less of a like big
You're over the
thing.
hump.
Yeah. So I'm
That's good.
gonna start to try to write more for looking at there's you have to put this in because I don't want
No,
to
we're
make,
putting this in.
No, I don't want to make promises, you know what
You're
I mean?
making promises. Make a promise
No.
right now.
I'm writing more. That's all. I'll say.
You're writing more?
Yeah.
What are you writing more? When are you going to have it done by?
Commit,
a second,
damn it.
a second from now.
A second?
Yeah.
It's already been
It's
a
already
second.
done.
Jordan.
It's done now.
It's done?
Yeah. You want to read it?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll critique it for you.
Okay.
So I thought that episode would flow best if we went Jordan, then you with Red Dead, then me.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Thumper's not a good game. No, I'm just kidding.
You haven't even played it. Also,
No,
it's
I want to play it.
the best game.
It's the best
that's come
PS
out
It's the
this
best
month.
game?
So you've been playing
Force it.
PSVR?
No,
No.
never.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have like the basic? Okay.
Just pass it back.
All right.
Do I have the basic what?
Yeah, I was asking about the notes.
Oh,
The
yes.
intro.
Cool.
All right. So you've been playing
Force it.
PSVR?